Hello, hello, welcome. I'm your host, Priscilla Gendron, and welcome to Psychic Talk. And joining me today in another part of the world, quite far away, is the amazing Frasser Beecroft. Welcome, Frasser.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you, as ever.
Now, Frasser and I have known each other for a long time, and he comes with a plethora of amazing gifts and abilities. He's a psychic, he's a healer, he's a color therapist, but also he's a harmonic egg guardian. And I thought, what is a harmonic egg guardian? So we're going to delve into what it is all about and what's taken him on his journey, thousands of miles from home, to take up this role. So, Fraser, just to let everybody know, where did your gifts come from? Because you weren't just a harmonic egg guardian. There was a lot of stuff before that of you being a psychic and healer and, doing color therapy and things like that. So what led you sort of to delve into that in your life?
I guess I've always been interested in esoteric things, things that are different. Never felt that I fitted in as a child. I used to see fairies when I was small and thought that was normal. When people said to me, like, what are you looking at? I just used to sort of point and say, well, that person or that thing, it was like, I realized later on that it wasn't normal, although, it is. So that was like, at an early age. And then I suppose maybe like 20 years later, I started to realize that, I bought myself my first pack of cards and was used to play with them. And people used to say, oh, what are they? And I used to just give them a reading. What you would do was a reading. Now, never knew what I was doing. I just made, not made it up, but it was just like, it was natural. It was just like boom, 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 boom. And that was it. And from there, I met my beautiful wife, and we went to see at the time Doreen Virtue, who was famous in the angelic realm at that time, and learned how to do angel card readings. And I did a couple of readings there, had people in tears, which was a really good thing because it allowed people to express themselves and find out what's really going on. And I thought, oh, this is quite good. And then I think at that point you and I met, and I was doing the shows at London Olympia.
Yes.
And it just progressed from there. When we came over to South Africa, I'd been doing the tarot. I'd been doing like the oracle cards, and I'd also started to learn all about colour. And again, was nothing, nobody taught me. It was just one of those things that when I used to look at people and give them a reading from whatever they were wearing, which was bizarre. And that really took on another, almost like another life when we were in South Africa, when we were at that show. And, so I was doing tarot, oracle cards, numerology. I threw in numerology at that stage in colours. So it was like a mix of things, but as a package altogether, it was that people were getting multiple levels and multiple readings in one session. And it's just gone from there. I was doing healing over the years because I've always been into the healing sides. I did like Reiki 1, Reiki 2, got to learn masters type thing, but it never felt right. It always felt like something was missing, which is where the cards came in. And then this is just, I don't know, how do you explain, something that found me rather than I found it. A bit like with the cards, a bit with the colours. It's just been a journey, and each time something else pops up. And this was something that when Lina and I first met, we always said we wanted to have our own like healing centre. So we had this vision of, oh, well, maybe we'll have, I don't know, like med beds, or we'll have reflexology, or we'll do massage, or whatever, something that was like nothing to do with like what we've got now. And it just kept popping up. Sometimes when something pops up and it won't leave you alone, it's like, okay, I need to look into this. And so about 3 years ago, it's like did a bit of research, because it's the harmonic egg or harmonic chamber is made in the States. And I did some research and thought, oh, this is really good. Put it on my to-do list. You know, like in 10 years' time, we'll have a centre and we'll have one of these things in there. But of course, spirit doesn't work like that, and it just kept giving me adverts and popping up this harmonic egg, harmonic chamber, and it's like, okay, something's trying to tell me like, okay, you need to see this thing. And then they brought one to the UK. So fortunately, it was near my parents, so we went to see my parents one weekend, and while we were there, we decided to have a look at what's this chamber, what's this harmonic egg, what does it do, with a possibility of, okay, well, maybe we need to like invest in this, and that was it, simple as that. You know, like we went in there, I was like the boy with, you know, probably would have been diagnosed with like some autistic spectrum at that point, because I was in and out, why don't the lights flash, and why is this, why is that? And then it was just, we fell in love with it, and we had like, I think we had the best night's sleep we've had in years. and you know, that's the story.
Yeah. So when you got to that point, you know, it didn't just happen like overnight, because you then took a trip and you went to Japan.
We went to Japan and Mongolia. We were doing some grid work. Yeah. So we came to where we are now via we left the UK nearly 12 months ago, and we went via Japan. We did some grid work in Japan with a group of friends, and then we went into Mongolia and did some more grid work there, which was amazing. And then from there, we came over to where we are now in Mexico.
So Mexico, and, you know, what was the decision for Mexico? Because it's not a normal choice for spiritual people. I know there is a lot of spirituality in a lot of countries, but I didn't feel like Mexico was like on top of the list. So what made you choose Mexico?
Still trying to work that out. It's one of those things that spirit leads you in very unusual ways. And, you know, we have talked about Mexico many times. And, you know, we'd been watching, I don't know, the programs where they buy a house in the Caribbean, and there was quite a lot about Mexico. And we thought, well, that looks great. And on our way to Japan and Mongolia, we'd also been to Cornwall, and we'd been to St. Michael's Mount, and Mont Saint Michel in France. And I happened to make a comment with one of our friends and said, like, you know, well, we couldn't find anywhere to put our chamber or our harmonic egg in the UK. Everywhere we looked was either too big or too small or too expensive or too out of the way. Everything was like blocking us from going to staying in the UK. And it was just like a conversation over, you know, a cup of coffee. What about Mexico? And it was as simple as that. And we made a decision to try. Let's pack up what we've got and let's leave the UK and come to Mexico. And 4 weeks later, we did. So it was an absolute whirlwind of, you know, and here we are, and you know, and then we had to get the chamber from the States over to Mexico, where we're living now, which took about another 4 months, you know, with all the bureaucracy and the things there. So
not easy, you know, to just bring something into a country. So tell me a little bit more about what is the harmonic egg? You know, what is it? What does it do?
Okay, so they call it a harmonic healing egg or harmonic chamber. It's a wooden structure. It's shaped into an egg. It uses 369 like sacred geometry and like Tesla principles in effect. It's a sound and light machine. Okay, so it's not like, you know, people talk about Healy, people talk about Rife. It's very similar in that sense, but this is 4.3 meters wide and 2.1 meters high and about 3.4 meters wide. So it's not something that you can just put in your pocket and walk away. And you know, it's behind me. You can see like this. That's like the top light, and there's a light below, and there's a seat there as well. So I don't know if we can, yeah, a little bit there. So there's a seat there that you sit in, and we use music that's been, how do you put this now, consciously created for this actual space to help the body start to heal itself. So when we do a session with somebody, we can, we always set an intention. So it's like, what is your intention for today? And we work on that the first time they come and have a session. We work on it's always on the autonomic nervous system, but like the first session we have is like a reset. So it resets the body to it increases their frequency of the body, and it allows the body, every single cell of the body, to expand. And anything that we've put down over the last, like 10, 20, 30 years, like we do, actually it allows the body to breathe and to actually start processing things.
Yes.
The music that we have access to, I think it's about 68 tracks at the moment, and each individual track has different instruments in it, and it's the instruments as well as the frequency of the chamber itself that do the magic, and it's just it's like a tool to help your body to start to heal itself. We don't do anything in the sense. So for example, we have bits of music that are very calming. So if somebody is in like fight or flight, it's like we have like piano music and nature sounds. We also have bits of music that are quite lively. And so for example, the cello music is good for like opening the heartstrings. So like somebody that doesn't love themselves or somebody needs to love more. The flute's good for like clarity. The piano is good for like calming people down. The didgeridoo and like crystal bowls are very good for helping with ligaments and helping with joints, and bones, that sort of thing. So each track has a variety of different music in there, and that's what's helped the beauty. The actual chamber itself resonates at between 1300 and 1500 hertz, which is quite high. So people start to say, well, is the music 432 or is it 5 to whatever? It doesn't matter as it happens with this, because it's resonating at such a high frequency. Yeah. That it's that plus the music that we play, and it's been specifically created for this the chamber itself. So like if you go to like a sound bath on the beach, the music disperses, whereas in here, because you're sat inside like a chamber, it's like a womb. Some people say it's like a womb, but you sit inside there, you're getting a 360-degree experience where your body feels the music. And also the lights. So you're not only getting the music, the lights help as well. So your body absorbs the lights. And like the music, we put different colors on. So we have 16 colors we can choose from for the top and the bottom. Usually when we start off, we use like greens and blues and purples because they're very calming. If somebody's fight or flight, you wouldn't put reds and oranges on. But if they want something to do with creativity, you would, So we work with individuals. We ask them what they want to work on. And then we choose specific music and specific light combination to help them with the session.
And how long normally are the sessions?
They're 50 minutes. So we have 40 minutes of music, and then there's 10 minutes of silence. Now, interestingly enough, the silence is as important, if not more important, than the music itself, because that's when your body actually can integrate what's just happened. And then afterwards, 3, 5, 7 days afterwards, your body's still integrating, what's just happened. But what's been for us, one of the joys of doing this is watching people's faces when they come out once they've had a session. But not only do we do sessions in person, we also have remote sessions, as you well know, and the responses from people have just been phenomenal. What they've told us, how it's changed them.
And I think the magical thing about it as well is that you don't actually have to be sitting in the chamber physically for it to work.
No, not at all. We got any pictures? No. What we do with with a remote session is we have a picture of a person or an animal. We've done land, we've done buildings. So you have a picture. So say it's a person. So what we usually do is we get their birth name, but not like the name that they are now, what they've changed it. So it's the original name that's on the birth certificate, because that's the 0 point. That's the point when there's, in theory, there's no diseases, there's no problems, there's nothing. So it's that 0 point. We get the full name and the date of birth. Some people give us like the time and the state, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just that main thing. And then that picture goes into the chamber, and we do a session as if they're actually sat there. Now, as you know, I talk to the picture. It's like actually talking to you and explain what's going on and what lights we've got and what music we've got. And then we, once we close the doors, they have a session like they're actually there, and we open the doors at the end of the session, take the picture out, and send them. I usually take a couple of pictures. I do a little video, just so that people know, like, well, they are actually doing this, and that to me that's what makes it a little, special.
Yes. No, definitely, because I've had a session with you and it was very enlightening, because I didn't know what to expect, or and I just gave it up and I said, okay, I'm going to enjoy the session. And I very nicely went to lay on my bed, because I thought I don't want to fall over mid-session. And it was very enlightening for me, and I could actually feel energy shifting in my body. And a lot of people think, oh, well, is it just, in your mind? Are you feeling it? But I genuinely did feel something, and I felt a shift happening. And I could feel like sensations in my body. So for me, it felt like, I'm a Reiki master myself. So I know what it's like to do distance healing, and it is a form of like distance healing, in a sense, in its own way.
I mean, they call it quantum entanglement. Yes. So it's the same as if you're sat in the same room or you're having a session there. I mean, interestingly enough, you say about the fact that you felt, the energy of it. We've had other people that have said they've felt, as the music changes, like they can feel, the music doing in the body. We've had other people who have had, for example, a gentleman we had a car accident many years before, and he'd had pain in his right hand side, and we did a session with him, and he said the pain disappeared. Now, how can you explain that other than we know that energy is energy? So it's like somebody said, it's like faxing the energy to that person while they're relaxing.
Exactly. So what's the process for people to get hold of you?
We have a website. It's apapachar.earth. So all the information's on there. We've got it English, Spanish, and French as well. And then all they do, they read the information, and they can then book a session with us. If they're doing a distance session, we require like a small photo of them, like sort of portrait of like the head and shoulders, with their full name and date of birth, and then we put that on the back of the picture. That's it. We usually message them via WhatsApp, because that's the easiest way, or send them or even via email. I know we ask them what's their intention for that session. So like, the first session can be like, well, I just want to relax or whatever, but that intention is really important for what we're doing, because we need to think about what colors to use. We need to think about the music that we're going to use, and that's why we do it like that. But it's literally as simple as tapping a thing, paying for a session, and sort of saying that we'll be in contact.
That's amazing. I think that, in today's world, there is so much healing that needs to happen with everything that's been going on for the last 5 years. So I feel like this is probably a wonderful way for people to attune themselves to the new frequency of the planet as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people, if people have heard of med beds, some people say that actually this is almost like a precursor, because what we're doing is we're expanding people's frequency. The frequency is rising. Your body is allowing itself to process what's been going on, and actually increasing frequency as well. Now, as I said before, we say like it every cell of your being, expands when you're in here, and every cell of your being, like, allows itself to grow. And it's all about allowing your body to heal itself. So there's all these different things. They've all got the same sort of purpose. The other thing about this is some times you do like remote healing with all the things like, with a Reiki, whatever, you can do that probably quicker than with this. It's quite powerful. So we always say you need to leave between 5 and 7 days before the next session, because otherwise your body, especially if you're not used to it, your body can also go into like fight or flight because of, you're allowing it that time, because we're not used to allowing our bodies to heal themselves. We're just, we're used to like pushing everything down or taking pills or whatever. And this is like modern day equivalent of like the ancient technology using like with a modern twist. So this is not new technology in a sense, because we're using things that they've used thousands of years, but we've put a modern spin on it, and it's taking that process and expanding what we can do.
It sounds incredible and amazing. So if people would like to join Frasser and his amazing wife, Lina, for a session, even if you're in Mexico, it will be amazing, you get a hold of them. All the, contact details and websites will be in the description below. So any words of wisdom about what do you feel like is happening in the world at the moment? And how, as a galactic egg guardian, how is your role in the universe with that?
I think that everybody's at this like point of ascension. I think like, the world is changing. I think more people are becoming more conscious, and what we're doing is we're helping people to raise a vibration, to bring in the new energy, to bring in the new light, to be able to have the strength in order to cope with what's been happening. There's been the energy the last few months, and certainly this year, is interesting to say the least. We've just had the big eclipse here in Mexico, and I know it affected everywhere, but it was particularly big here. So this is allowing people to be at a higher frequency than they may have been before, and dealing with things that maybe they've put away for 20 years. So, we play we feel we play a very important part to raise good vibrations and start that healing process with them, to move on, to move into the future.
Fantastic. Well, Frasser, thank you so much for joining us today on Psychic Talk. And I hope that your message is spread far and wide, and that you acquire a lot of abundance from all of this. I know it's been an incredible journey and a lot of ups and downs, which everything that is difficult is always like that. So please feel free to contact them. All the details will be in the description below. And I just want to say thank you very much, Frasser, for joining us on Psychic Talk.
Thank you, Priscilla.
And I look forward to seeing everybody again, same time, same place next time. And stay in the light. Thanks, everybody, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.